Well, this is Cardo's media, and yeah, don't blame the messenger. Yeah.
Yo, you don't know, this is Trilogy, straight out of Dominica, and you're tuned in to Cardo's Media. Don't blame the messenger. Boom!
Yo! What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do, what it do? Hope your week is going great. My people, my people, my people. Like Shy Guys say. All right, you know. Hello?
Yes, I.
Wait,
Hey,
you there?
Yeah,
yes,
man,
yes.
we there. We good. We there. Pull up.
I. So, tonight we're going to have a great discussion. Great discussion in connection with why Dominicans or why Dominican or Dominica doesn't have visa-free access to Canada and a lot of and the European countries. Why is that?
It's a good
That's
question to ask, you know. It's a very good
That's a
question to
great
ask, you know.
question to ask. I want to know why.
And Dominica, listen to me. Dominica has been considered one of the most safest island to travel to. So it can't be a Dominicans is criminals.
Dominica is not criminal.
Okay. Just asking that
Dominicans are
question.
not criminal. And
Just asking that question, man.
I stand behind my statement. Dominicans are not criminal. And anybody that wants to second guess my statement, free to do so.
I see.
But I know that Dominicans going straight to heaven when Jesus Christ comes.
Okay.
Anybody that lives in Dominica right now and has not traveled outside of Dominica, this is me speaking, not nobody else's opinion. This is my opinion. Anybody who's living in Dominica right now and has never boarded a plane or a boat to go nowhere, when Jesus Christ comes, they're going straight to heaven. No matter what crime you commit in Dominica, you have not left Dominica, you're going straight. Trust and believe it.
You saying that?
Dominica innocent. Dominicans are very innocent people. They don't know nothing. They have not seen anything. But again, that is my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion.
Definitely,
So, yeah.
you are.
What do you think about that?
Me? Dominican go straight to hell when they dead.
Yeah.
Oh my. This is interesting, yeah. This is very interesting.
Wow.
I get in a
What do you mean by that, yo? What do you mean by
That's
that?
my analogy. Dominicans know about crime. Dominicans doing crime every day. Dominicans breaking the law every day. The law, the good book, the Bible, you know.
Yeah.
which again.
So when we're there, when we're supposed to be, hell.
You guys
But
just to
I don't find, in my professional and personal opinion, I don't think Dominicans doing anything to warrant what these other countries are doing as far as crime. We don't have gun
Name
violence
one.
in Dominica.
Because the what we have to understand is that while other Caribbean countries may have high crime rates and all kind of crazy numbers in terms of murders, they are not given restrictions to those countries. That would speak towards the temperament of the people, I could say.
If you have to speak up a little bit louder, we
You
can't,
not hearing me?
barely hear you.
Okay, hold on. Let me just check that there. So let me just check my microphone settings. Give me a minute.
Hello? You? Can you hear me, Drex? Clint? Clint? Clint Freeze, man.
Yeah,
If
look
you
like
could
he,
hear me, send me. You
look
could.
like he may have, look like he may have been, excuse me, freeze, excuse me, be freeze also.
Yeah, Clint
But
frozen.
you
Yeah.
can hear me better, right? You can hear me better, right?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit
Right.
better now.
I was just saying, you know, in terms of, you know, the high crime rates or the high murder rates in other Caribbean countries or post Dominica, you have to ask yourself a question: why is Dominica being given visa free restrictions in certain
No.
countries?
So good. So
Well, it's
I
Clint, go
think
ahead.
his
We can hear
internet.
you.
Richie?
His inter-
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying it's all about politics, you know. You know, you in bed with people I don't like, so I do something to restrict you. I pass a law to restrict you. So, for instance, Dominica got that restriction from Canada on the United Workers' Party.
Mm-hmm. Was it the United Workers
The
Party?
first what you call it, passport that was sold by UWP to this guy Almasari. What happened? This is. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we hearing you. We
Yeah, we
hearing
hearing
you.
you. We hearing you.
Hello.
We can hear you. We hearing you. You coming
Okay,
through
I was
clear,
saying okay, I was saying in somewhere between 1990.
Clint internet is going bad. So
Yeah,
somebody
definitely.
came in with a comment. I came for a positive vibes, and that
Oh shucks, I'll have it on for you.
okay. I came here for a positive vibes, and that negative of Dominicans going straight to hell. Clint needs to take that statement back. On this note, I'm gone.
Oh my. Oh my, oh
Robertina,
my,
don't
oh
go,
my.
man. Don't go, man.
Routine.
Clint does just say things when he wants to say what he had to say. You know what I mean? Don't go nowhere.
But as he was saying, I think he might be ready to come back on. You ready now? You good?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you were saying.
I was saying somewhere between 1995 and 2000 in the reign of
I
UWP. They
Go
had
ahead.
this Iranian guy. I can't remember his first name, but something Al Masari. That was they sold a passport to him, and I thought that he ended up in Canada or somewhere, or you know, and that those days we didn't need a visa to go to Canada, and
Okay.
that that triggered off a whole fiasco, with the passport thing and who should have a passport, and then internationally Iran has always been a country they deem as sponsoring terrorism and all that thing. So, you have to really understand the geopolitics, where the Canadians came in at the time. Although Canada is a Commonwealth country, but you can understand the matrix there. Politics with Britain and all that thing and whatever. So they impose visa restrictions on us from, I can't remember what year it was, but I think it was somewhere around 98, 97, 19, somewhere around there. I can't remember exactly what year it was. But that was the first inference of a visa restriction on Dominica. And it was done under the party I support.
Okay, I understood it. I understood it differently, though. I understood it differently. So I don't know if my own is correct or yours is correct. I understood that is when Ruzi won elections because he was in a part of a protest that happened in Canada,
No, no,
and it
no,
was
no, no, no,
some that what I
no.
understand. That I understand. So
No, no,
we have to
no.
clarify that. We have to
Al
clarify that.
Masari, Al Masari, the Iranian guy, he was an Iranian guy. It was Edison James in government at the time. And they issued a passport to him. And whatever happened there, from there they started with the visa restriction stuff.
Clint, a young lady by Robotina Seaman is on your back tonight, yo. She say,
But
Clint,
go on.
what Clint is saying wasn't even the situation. So apparently she knows the situation better than you.
Well, she know better than me. Let she say. At least I know that.
But you see,
Okay.
I like the fact that you're able to call out your party and say that is your under your party's time frame.
Yeah. But I mean,
That.
what are you gonna hide for? What you gonna
All
hide
right.
for? As a matter of fact, when Labour ran the election in 2000, they used that. You see, like how now you don't be talking about England putting restriction on us now,
Yeah.
right? When Labour ran the election in 2000, they used that as the stomping ground over UWP. So I don't know what she's talking about.
Oh.
But that
But
is the
of
next thing.
course,
You have to. But sometimes, even if they use it in campaign, it may not be the accurate thing. It may not be accurate thing. So that's why I try to see if they get the root of it.
The only how it would not be accurate or we would not know if it's accurate or not, it is not to come out and defend himself.
True.
And so far, the whole of Dominica knew that. It was the first passport we ever had us sell in terms of them kind of things. I mean, I don't go and hide from that. Labour Party make mileage on that in 2000.
Well, I'm gonna have to go back and look at the campaign and see.
Yeah, go back to the archives, you'll see for yourself. The name is Al Masari. Al Masari is an Iranian, somebody from Iran. I can't remember his position in Iran or whatever. I can't remember all the intricate things, details about it. But all I know for sure, the name Al Masari, I can't remember his first name, something Al Masari. But that was done, and from there, the Canadians imposed visa on us.
Okay.
Something about that thing had go on, whatever.
So
It's from there we started to want visa.
We have to ask.
So no. Okay, let me ask this now. So now that we are facing new visa restrictions.
But what she said, what she said a while ago, what she said, Viva say.
No, not Viva, Robertine. She said, would I give that brainwash? So then we're asking now, give the full information. Let's know what's happening. Let's know what happened within that situation.
Yeah, send the article so we can find it.
Send it out.
Because
Well,
so okay, but no today. Friday, I think Canada came out with a new list of visa-free entry into Canada. And they listed out some Caribbean islands like Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua. And why is Dominica not mentioned in that list?
well, you can start thinking about a lot of things. You can. Number one, Canada does business with Antigua. They do business with Trinidad. Who again?
Barbados.
Right. So maybe when they start doing business,
St. Lucia as well. St. Lucia
right.
and Panama.
So maybe when they start doing business with Dominica, they might lift it.
Okay.
But as far as they're concerned, Dominica is not beneficial to them. No.
Because what I wanted to do though, I wanted to bring up the statistics. I wanted to bring up some statistics as far as crime and violence in these countries compared to Dominica's crime and violence ratio. You get what I mean? So Fido, you have the statistics there?
I have the statistics, but I narrowed it down to homicides because some of them have in thousands in terms of crimes and violence. So in Trinidad and Tobago in 2024, they recorded.
You can put it up on the screen so people can see.
They wouldn't be able to see. No, because I document that in a news. I could just pull it out, and read it out quickly for them to hear. All right. So in Trinidad and Tobago in 2024,
people like to see things, man.
So I don't get every article for them to see that then.
No, not the articles, but like just the figures. Just the figures.
All right. Then.
Because what I trying to do, what business does Antigua and Grenada do with Canada? I don't know. So
we got it down to figure out.
I can play myself. I can play myself on that. If the person understand my comment, they would figure it out. There's nothing happening in Dominica by Canada. At least in Antigua, you have Canadian Airlines dropping down there almost every day. That
Okay.
is business, right?
Yeah, that is
Right.
business. Yes.
It happens in Barbados. It happens in Trinidad. I don't know if they go St. Lucia. I don't know. You know, that is one form of business.
Well,
So,
once our airport bill, Canadian Airlines will be coming to Dominica.
how we know that?
Okay, so
The person said, get your facts right. Canada doesn't do any business, man, with Antigua and Grenada.
So why the plane coming there?
The reason I want to ask these questions or ask the question why Dominica is on a visa restriction for Canada is the mere fact that we are also banned from the UK and the UE. Almost the UE is about to ban us next. So why
Europe.
is it that Dominica is always being banned from all these countries?
It's
What?
politics. It's politics.
But
That's
politics,
what
what
it
kind of
is.
politics is that?
Let me
what can
explain to you.
go
Let me
ahead.
explain to you because people
Go
need to
ahead.
know. For the last 20 years, we've been doing things that are very, very, I always say it, outrageous. The world, as to whether it's they make up a story about terrorists and so on, as to whether it's a real thing or not, because I have a different perception on terrorism. I might sound like a crazy, but I have a different perception about it. Up to this morning, I met a young man in an office and they have the television stuff. And he was saying he glad he's a Dominican because we don't have to fight. And he was
Right
going
on.
on a bit ignorant. So I was saying to him, my brother, you say not no. But let's just assume about 40,000 people in a different tribe come Dominica and live and they begin to infiltrate people. You will see the reason why you have to fight. And that is what happening in the Middle East down there. The people them down there fighting for something that belong to them. You understand? And you can see England wanted, France wanted, the US wanted, Canada following suit, and so on and so on. Okay? So you have to understand those things. If you really want to understand why a person can just turn from a good person to a criminal, then you have to try to go into the psycho or the psyche of the people and to figure out what happened. So that's what happened. So for the last 20 years, our government find itself in some real funny, if you want to say funny shit, that's it. Okay? Things where the world telling you stop that. But for some of us, even the world telling us to stop that, we never had another way to fix Dominica. So we figure that would be the better way and the fastest way for it to happen. So we end up selling passports to all and sundry. See what happened to us? We sell how many diplomatic passports in that region down there? And where the people we sell them to? You know, Richie?
No.
You don't
They in their
know?
homeland.
Where they there?
They in their homeland, their country of their birth.
Where Corallo?
I don't know.
Jail. Where Alison Maduike?
Jail. That one I know. That name I know.
Where the one they had in Mount Daniel up there? What his name? Lord, from Iran. Well, he get released last
Montferrat?
year. Montferrat, jail. Then they had this one from Barbados, the insurance one. I can't remember his name. They have another one from the Bahamas. They give all of them diplomatic passport. Why? For immunity. And then you end up selling passports in those kind of places down there. And the world telling you, if you end up selling a passport to a terrorist, most likely he gonna use Dominica passport to end up in the Eurozone or in Britain or in Canada or in the US and stuff like that. That's an easy thing to understand. So if you continue doing it, that's why I tell you come onto politics. If you continue doing it, then the countries in the international community or whatever and say it, they're gonna put a stop on you.
Okay.
So first they start by telling you you need a visa to come in their country. That would mean the people from Asia you're selling passport for, they know would not have the cushion to enter your country based on how you sell the passport to them, visa free. So now they need a visa. So when they go for the visa now, the people that issuing the visa can say, we're not giving you that because we don't deal with your country, where you're coming from. You understand? That kind of thing then. So that's it. That's the first thing. The next thing would be trade.
Clint, let me Robertina sent the article speaking about why Dominica got visa access denied back in the 90s. As senior Canadian immigration official at the High Commission in Trinidad has confirmed the arrival in Toronto of a large group of Chinese nationals carrying what appears to be valid passports issued recently by Dominicans. But David DePool, first secretary and supervisor at the immigration sector of the High Commission, refused to confirm the number of Chinese who arrived with those passports of convenience, saying he was limited in what he could say because the Privacy Act was restricted the information to be available for divulging. So that was in, let me see the date. That was in November 29, 1999. So that was definitely during the workers' period. Right?
That's the first inference she had.
That was definitely during the workers' period. So
because
there was ways to fix Dominica. Let me read her comment. There was ways to fix Dominica. Selling passports is not a bad idea. However, the government is like drug addicts. They want fast money. The due diligence and greedy politicians in Dominica's problem. Have faith they will meet the law for sanctions busting.
Well, I have never heard about a Chinese issue with UWP. I don't know. I don't know whether that is true or not. Whoever said it. But what I know for sure, the first time I ever heard about passport selling by UWP was to this Iranian guy.
It's in the article. It's in the Sun article.
His name is whatever his first name is, but it ends up with Al Masari. I can never forget that because the Labour Party used that in their campaign to vilify the UWP. So I don't know which one is the first one, but I know for sure I know this one.
So, but law enforcement authorities in Toronto believe the group might be part of a smuggling operation which take advantage of Dominican Economic Citizen Program, where they spend at least $50,000 for instant citizenship.
But Richie, don't read more of that, Richie. Don't read more of that. Let me tell you why I tell you to read more of that. Because the United Workers' Party never was in bed with China. They was in bed with Taiwan. And even Rosie Douglas government was in bed with Taiwan. Is when Pierre Charles come when Pierre Charles come Prime Minister, Roosevelt scared go Barbados and tie up himself with the Chinese. So I don't know. So there's a conflict there. I can't really back up that. Because we never had no relationship with China until Roosevelt scared. So that would have to be something, that would have to be an isolated issue. I don't know.
But you see, it's a report from the Sun newspaper. That's what are coming up there right there.
Yeah, it can be propaganda too.
I don't know. Fluffy, what going on?
But then again, still, let's be reasonable. It doesn't mean that they couldn't go at the back of the Taiwanese and do their thing. I don't know.
Yeah. And anything is a possibility. But
Shit.
but to that effect, I think, to my personal view, like the person commented and said, CBI could have been very beneficial for Dominicans. CBI could have been a very profitable business for Dominicans. But our politicians are not transparent and they are greedy and they pull in their pockets with the CBI fund. That is my belief.
To some extent, to some extent, I support you when you say that.
You don't believe CBI could have been a profitable thing for Dominica?
Well, when I look at the intricate parts of it, I have my different vibes about it. You see, I'll tell you something. America doesn't call their own CBI.
No.
Right. But America now have a system where you go into a country and you develop the country. And that was initially what Eugenia Charles wanted to happen.
Yes.
Richie living in Dubai and Richie wanted a Dominica passport. Richie had to come and invest in Dominica, real investment. And, you employ Dominicans to work and that kind of a thing. So you see a trickle-along effect. And I guess after you do it for a couple of years, whatever, how many years, I don't know, then they issue you a passport. But what happening now is not that.
No, it's not that. No.
A whole different thing. So we don't even know. Right now, we don't even know if the Chinese them that are in Dominica
have passport or not.
Listen. We don't even know if the Chinese them that say they have store all about in Dominica. If they're doing it for themselves or for their state, we don't know. We just don't know nothing.
This person came in and said passport sales started under the Freedom Party. The Lion River Hotel was under that program. However, the Labour Party...
It wasn't passport sale, madam.
Let me finish with
Don't say that. It wasn't passport
the
sale.
Labour Party, and especially under Scarat, they have abused the program. So Lion River wasn't under CBI, like a CBI investment program?
Yeah, but he wasn't selling passport like what they are going on there.
Okay.
You had to come and invest in Dominica. What happened was, the people that came in on the Freedom Party, the people, what's the name again? I forgot her name. Those people were unscrupulous people, but you have to understand still, those people, their meditation is far ahead of Dominica. So you needed real people, educated people, to sit down with those people and have a real conversation. I mean, you can imagine you using a dunce pal rep that don't know how to negotiate nothing to go and want to talk to those kind of people there.
Because Peter said Grace
Tongue. Yeah. You can imagine you in a room with Grace Tongue and other high level Chinese or Taiwanese or whatever they were. They will rock you.
They already done cooking long time, so they don't know the system of how to cook you.
Of course. And the thing about it is that they have what it takes to sway you. Money.
They have money, yeah.
Money. You can imagine a hungry man like me going from Greystone and sit down and Greystone and tell me, hey, I just said it so, yeah? We're going to invest $100 million in Wesley. And we want this and we want that. And we want you to make it happen. And we're going to pay you $2 million to make it happen.
Yeah. From you had 2 million, you know how to jump. Yeah, man. Let me go.
that kind of behavior there. And that is something those people are practicing on a day-to-day basis in China and places outside there. So we really wasn't, we Dominicans even if we was in government, we really wasn't ready for that kind of escapade there. That was too much for us. So we go for the money,
Mm-hmm.
and we go for the money, and we tie up our people, and all now we don't lose yet.
We tie so tight. We don't even know if the string can bust no more.
Yeah.
Yes, please get the other article, Robertina. Please, please, please. I want us to get it so we can show. I like to show people exactly what is what. I don't want to come and say nothing that I can't really prove on an article. Black and white gives you proof. Might be false, it might be wrong, but what black and white shows you, well, yeah, this is black, this is in black and white. So yeah, we're trying to get, once you get the article, send it and we'll pull it up. We'll post it up. But yeah. But let me say my thing. Why I think Dominica right now is currently under these heavy scrutinies. This is my opinion. Again, this is opinion and not fact. I believe that something is wrong with our governance. Why our country is still under these stringent restrictions by these supposedly first world countries. Something that they see that we, the normal people, are not seeing. What it can be, I don't know. So, run the numbers for me. How many murders has taken place in Trinidad for the year so far?
For this 2025 is 102 so far.
And how many murders took place in Dominica for the year so far?
Maybe about 3 or 4. I'm not uncertain about Dominica.
What about St. Lucia?
St. Lucia about 5 so far for the year.
5. But Dominica
last
don't
year,
have 5. Huh?
No, last year they maybe had about 29.
And Dominica?
Dominica last year we had 10 for the entire year.
10 for the entire year. So our gross is about between 10 and 12 murders a year in Dominica. In Trinidad, Trinidad has 105 so far already for the year.
Yeah, last year Trinidad had 624.
How much million people Trinidad have?
About 2 million.
That's all they check it, against the population. So you might find Dominica up there with the 10.
Oh, so per capita.
Right.
Oh, you
1.3 million, yeah.
You best friend. You. Wait. You are strengthening my point. Hold on, let me read this comment real quick. I can't see it till I fix it. You are strengthening my point. The program is not bad. It has benefits. And as you rightly said, the Labour Party has used kindergarten children to negotiate with hardened con artists. We have the worst negotiators and ministers. Can our tourism minister negotiate anything beneficial to Dominica? No.
Who is the tourism minister?
What's her name? The lady from Dennis.
Oh no. She can
from. Hi guys. Hey, what going on, Philip? What go on? How you doing? The other article, Miss Robertina said the other article is about a fugitive that Canada wanted for
certain crimes,
and the UWP sold him a passport.
Yeah.
So he could be in Dominica because Dominica and Canada has no extradition treaty. Okay? So Dominica has a higher murder rate than Trinidad and St. Lucia. Wow.
Yeah, that's be.
Because it's per capita. Okay.
Per capita.
Okay. That's how. That's okay. So you see, you guys give us information as well as we give you guys information, because I did not know that. I did not know that that's how they do it, by the amount of people on the island versus the amount of deaths or murders that is committed on the island. So Thank you for the information. I was not aware of that. 30K people and 10 dying, 10 dying a year. I'm here listening. Yeah, so very, very interesting point. I was just thinking about the amount of people that's murdered on our island. I wasn't thinking about the population. I was just thinking about the island and the amount of people being
there.
murdered or whatever. So, okay. So that's very interesting for me to hear. Very informative. So I learned something tonight. It's per capita. And so Dominica population then needs to increase. So that then when they do their calculations, it will show a different.
I believe so. I believe Dominicans need to chill out. Dominicans need to behave like that. I don't really promoting them thing there. No.
Well, no, I'm not promoting it, but I'm just saying, Dominica. I'm just saying that we need an increase in our population at the end of the day, either way.
Increase in population.
Yeah.
For population to increase. For population to increase. For me, in my head, for population to increase, you have to have a better system of living in Dominica. I can't be all around running about making children to suffer.
Misinformation is not information. I am glad you say that, Mr. Shem. But like I said, I was being educated tonight. So I am grateful for the education because I did not know that's how they calculated the murder rate. I did not know that. So that's good information to me.
Richie, for instance, if you put the same 10 people in Marigaland, Marigaland might be have the highest murder rate in the world.
Oh, because
the population is so small. You understand? Right.
Yeah. Okay. So if population of Dominica is 30K people.
Homicide you're talking about? Homicide you're talking about?
Huh?
No, they need to understand it's homicide you're talking about. Homicides. So that person that died through sickness and age and all those things, accidents.
Leave me alone, please. So long the PM tell them to go and make children. The PM did say go and make children. Check that data. I don't think murder rate in DA is higher than Trinidad. Look it up.
I think
Help us out, Wilwood. Do some fact checking there for us tonight, there, please.
It is, Richie. It is. You have 10 people against 70,000. And you have how much, Fido? How much is it they had?
Was that Trinidad?
Yeah, last year.
Last year, Trinidad had 624 homicides.
Against 1 point how much million people?
1.3.
Right. So the ratio, look at the ratio.
Okay. In 2024, the homicide rate in Trinidad and Tobago was around 45.7 homicide victims per 100,000 population. A total of 615 murders were recorded in Trinidad and Tobago in 2024, making it the deadliest year ever in the history. Most of these murders were closely related to gang activity, with 43.68% of murders related to gangs. So that's Trinidad and Tobago. Now let me do Dominica's murder rate now.
Population 2025.
In 2024, the murder rate for Dominica has been reported to be 10 homicides, with 6 of them being solved, making a 60% solvable rate and a 44% deceased compared to the previous years. The country has seen violent crimes linked to gangs, gang violence, and drug trafficking. Dominica and St. Kitts has remained free from murder, including from murder incidents for the first week of 2024. So
So
you
as the
get that Dominica
percentage,
is a peaceful and we know Dominica is a peaceful and safe place. We know that. I just wanted to make sure what I wanted to find out exactly what is it that is causing Dominica to not get visa-free entry into certain countries. Why is that?
which I tell you already.
I know you tell me, but I want the people and them to get the topic so they can understand for themselves why we trying to discuss. We're not saying that Dominica is not peaceful.
I don't think he has anything to do with murders and homicide. Canada have more homicide on a daily basis than Dominica. It's just that Canada have more million people than Dominica, so you're looking smaller.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. But we know it's not that's the issue. The issue have to do with politics or leaders, the path they take to develop the country. That's
Oh,
it. That is the issue. So the Americans will be very hostile towards Roosevelt Skerrit
because of its
government
relationship with China.
and his relationship to China, and the fact that they sell him passport, and the fact that they're against terrorists, and they fear that we might end up selling passport for terrorists, and it make it easy for them to come through the EU and all
Mm.
those kind of things there. And as long as you reach within the EU, you can stay there as a sleeper cell. You stay there, and you stay there and you fester, and when you catch yourself, you do your crime. No, you don't necessarily have to go America, the USA to go and bomb US, but you can wait patiently for American Airlines to touch down and you bomb it, or you wait patiently for a set of American people to be on a train or in a restaurant and you kill them there. That kind of thing there.
Mm.
So that's why they're so paranoid about the situation. I can understand why people defending their people.
Yeah, they defending. I'm not against any country for defending their borders because at the end of the day, it's their border, it's their country. So you have to defend it to the maximum. You don't have to care about other people and how they feel. But what I'm saying is like we so peaceful in Dominica. I just find it rather disheartening to me. Is my opinion again. I find it disheartening to me that Dominicans are being not allowed
Subject
to enter these countries.
and make
You
it
know?
even worse. Dominica and Canada are both members of the Commonwealth.
Come on, exactly. So that again is another issue. Like, what Dominica doing so bad that we can't go Canada? That is crazy. So I at the end of the day, I am a pro Dominican and I want Dominica to go and grow places. But it leaves the question to wonder, or leaves me to wonder, why are we being banned from certain places? Why are we being restricted from these places? And it gives off a bad vibe, it gives off a bad sense because it makes me feel like something is wrong with us. You get what I'm saying? It makes it seem like something is definitely wrong with us. And we need to fix ourselves. So how do we? So now that we know that we have an issue with other countries allowing us into their country, what now is our next goal? How are we gonna fix these problems?
Let me show you another scenario because we're going far. Look at Dominica. Dominica is poised between two French islands and with a population of almost 1 million people. That would be Martinique and Guadeloupe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And Antigua is outside to the north of Guadeloupe.
Mm-hmm.
And as an Antiguan, you don't need a French visa to go to Guadeloupe or Martinique to go and shop and enjoy yourself. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
But Dominica, you have to have a visa to go there. It's all about government. It's what we decide to give up or what we decide to take. It's arrangements. You have to have arrangements with people. And when you're doing those things, it is an understanding between two bodies of people. And we don't seem to kind of have that. You know, I remember in 2000, coming up on 2000, Ruzi was campaigning. His thing was to try to get Dominica to be a part of the or Guadeloupe and Martinique in terms of trade. Yes, we have a lot of things happening, but the way I guess he wanted it to happen, it never materialized. And we are killing ourselves trying to figure out another way. But my boy, you have 400 and something thousand people to the south, and you have another 400 and something thousand to the north. That's over 900,000 people. Yes, I mean, you can imagine Dominica forgetting about the US. Is the EU, the euro right there? Is a high enough currency. It's about the US dollar. You
It's
know,
above or say
more, they're about the same. I don't know. But more Dominicans should be looking to go just there to do business
than to go
for
America.
entertainment than to go America. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It will have a better traffic of people around right there. Dominica Martinique, Dominica Guadeloupe, that kind of a thing there. You know, we keep bypassing all the time. We keep
Look
going
at
fast. So the effects, the reason is because Martinique and Guadeloupe are departments of France. They belong to the EU, the Eurozone. So we'd have a better sense of trade with them than the US and Canada. You understand? But we find ourselves going to the US and we spend a lifetime over there, and some of us never make it. Whereas you could go right there in Guadeloupe. Well, yes, they have a language barrier to some of us, you know. But you could go right there in Guadeloupe or Martinique in terms of business, in terms of work, in terms of recreation, and do the same thing because I mean, I've been to Guadeloupe several times and Martinique, and I don't find, I watch in Florida, I watch in Miami. Yes, Miami more developed, but the trend in psychology, the thought, the process, you know, when you go there, you're seeing things similar. You understand what I'm saying? It's just on a bigger, in America, it's just on a bigger scale. But from the time you leave here and you go Guadeloupe or Martinique, it's a whole different thing, you know? So I don't know. Maybe I have it wrong. I don't know. But we missed out some things. But I just say that basically to show you is arrangements with all politicians or government with other governments.
Well,
And what we are
this comment came in. What's the purpose of the CARICOM unit? Because one set getting benefits and Dominica not getting nothing.
weak government.
And then this other comment coming. Dominica needs visas to enter Guadeloupe and Martinique because of their behavior. Dominicans enter Guadeloupe and Martinique and commit crimes. So in order to cut down on criminal activity, visas were imposed on Dominicans. Antiguans do not have that reputation in Guadeloupe. Hence, they do not need visa.
Okay.
Now you see, let me show you again. That is a hypocrite statement to make. No, because the person, to me, the person saying that, and they are saying that basically, yes, I don't say Dominicans will go Guadeloupe and form the fool, you know. But you cannot tell me, Clint Rule, Antiguans doesn't go Guadeloupe and form the fool. You know the amount of cocaine, you know the amount of cocaine and marijuana that going into Guadeloupe via Antigua back door? Maybe she don't know that. So she's saying what she know. We're not saying Dominicans are doing the same thing too, you know. But the way she coming across is like Antiguans is like so nice people. They don't do nothing wrong. My lady, a lot of wrong things going on between Guadeloupe and Antigua in terms of illicit trade, crime. But the government of Antigua and Guadeloupe, they have an arrangement. Guadeloupeans, French people can go to Antigua and enjoy themselves, tourism, blah, blah, blah. They have ferry system, like the high-speed ferry and all that thing. going in from Guadeloupe into Antigua back to Guadeloupe on a daily basis.
Mhm.
They have business. They have business going on between the two of them, but that doesn't mean are unscrupulous people leaving Antigua and going to do their crime in Guadeloupe and taking jail in Guadeloupe too, just like Dominican people. So it had to be something else the Antiguans them doing that we're not doing.
The person said, "Hey, stop it. Where's the statistics to prove that drugs enter Guadeloupe from Antigua?"
Does it have any statistics where drugs enter Guadeloupe from Dominica?
Wow.
But we know it happening, right, Richie?
I don't know.
Does it? Wait. Let me ask her another question. Does it have any statistics to show that Dominican fishermen carrying Haitians to Guadeloupe via Dominica? No. But it happens. It happens.
Somebody text and say, "I too crook." I too crook, but at the same time, I asked Clint on which government Dominica got the 15-day visa-free entry. Which government brought in the 15-day visa-free entry?
I mean, come on, man. We can't stop being talking foolishness. You know? What is 15 days visa-free entry? Let's stop being childish around now. We're talking about something that is long lasting. So any day I feel to go Guadeloupe, I can just take my money, go and buy a ticket and go on the ferry and go Guadeloupe.
But you have 15 days. I agree with that.
15 days about what?
You can stay in my country longer.
Eh?
You have 15 days to stay and you can stay longer. Go back by your home. Go back to your mother's house. You know, after 30 days, if you come and live in somebody's house, after 30 days, you automatically belong in that house. You are now a resident of that house. You know that, right?
Well, yeah, maybe something happened like that. But I was saying,
I'm not sure. I even hear they get drugs from Antigua, but I'm sure we have many times about Dominica. We heard many times about Dominica.
my brother, let me tell you. You know, Mr. Manners be wrong, right? I am a Manners be wrong. I know plenty things that happen, and I don't have to go and call nobody name. I just know what is going on. There's a lot of traffic happening between Guadeloupe and Antigua. It's a fact.
But watch that. It's not being brought to light like how it is being brought to light between
those things are done in the dark. They are done in the dark. It's every now and again you will hear they hold somebody from Antigua, you know, but they keep holding them all the time.
Okay.
They see the same way Dominicans taking jail in Guadeloupe when they say they fall. Like when them drug man say I fall. It's the same thing happening in Antigua. They just fall too. And another thing, you still have the trade with them Antiguans carrying Haitian between Antigua and Guadeloupe. I know about those things there. I doesn't ask nobody that. I'm telling you. It happens. Haitians coming in Antigua, back door, and they hop in boat from Antigua and come Guadeloupe, back door.
Right.
So
let me read this other comment here. No, the ferry from Antigua to Guadeloupe is not daily. It's once weekly. Yes, there is statistics of drugs entering Guadeloupe from Dominica. We have people in Dominica right now wanted in Guadeloupe for drug trafficking. We have none wanted in Guadeloupe from Antigua. It's a crime to smuggle people into any country. We have no records of criminal activity between Antigua and Guadeloupe.
Man, you see that kind of topic there? That topic you're going to go back and forth because the young lady, she talking about statistics, I talking about reality. You understand? Statistics only come in play when they catch you. So if they never catch you, it doesn't mean you don't do anything. And it happens.
You don't have no record of it.
Right, it happens. Number one, them boys have better boat up there than down here. But I'm telling you, the kind of boat them fellas are running the water up there, Dominicans don't have that.
No have them kind of boat there.
No, they don't have that.
Them boy have 4 motor, we only have 2.
You understand what I'm saying? That kind of thing there.
So it seems like Dominica is known for producing criminals. Some characters gone guada, spoil the waters. Now CBI Dominicans mashing us up all over the world. This country needs Jesus. I agree with you, Peter. The country needs Jesus. Trust and believe him.
Hi, Peter.
Now they choke you, eh?
Yeah, you joke, man.
The country needs Jesus. So this morning it was brought to my attention that Dominica records its first death of leptospirosis.
Leptospirosis? Yeah, I saw it this morning.
Maria.
Yeah.
Its first death of leptospirosis since Maria. Now, do you know what leptospirosis is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a disease contracted by rata. You get rata piss on you or piss in your water, you drink it, piss on your food. Most times it happens is nasty people always get that.
But no.
Yeah.
But now we have a problem in Dominica, a situation in Dominica where our trash is being left on the side of the road.
Yeah, but
which will now breed.
Wait. You see, when I grew up in Dominica, those days were the days when people could get that. And how they never used to get it. It's because you're nasty, you're home dirty, you're open to rata inside your house, or rata, you have all kind of comments inside your house. Rata will want to come inside your house, they'll piss on your thing for you to eat. When you eat it, you contract the disease. That's it. You know. Why would you want to have rubbish around your yard? Burn it. But I mean, we have a new culture now where we have drums on the roadside, putting for rubbish truck. The country not making no advance. Well, they're doing a little thing now with dump truck, picking up rubbish, Better can be done. But the way we know it, it doesn't happen so. You understand? So you're gonna find the place infested with rats. But at the same time, your place should be secure from rata.
So look, the person said, Clint, come on. You had a guy from Margot who died from simply dipping his hand in manure where rats were, and it seeped through a cut.
But why would you want to put your hand in fertilizer? Emma, my friend, that's the young lady I was telling you about.
Okay.
Emma Thomas. Why would you want to? I do farming, and I do put my hand in fertilizer.
So the person said, Clint, I thought you were more educated to have a higher level of conversation.
Boy, even though you're talking to here, I don't want to go and talk a big language. Of course, we go to school the same time, I understand that. But you don't go and talk to somebody you can understand what you're saying. The point I'm making is that from the time you get involved in farming, they've been teaching you how to apply yourself. You don't even have to listen to people on the road. You can go on YouTube and see for yourself how to use chemicals, how to apply chemicals. I have never seen on YouTube where anybody in farming have their hand and finger in
Fido,
poison. No.
Hold on a while. Fido, you see that person there? Thomas. She wants it to be added to the live. I don't know if you could find her and send her to it. So yeah. Clint, somebody coming for you now. Somebody coming on your back.
No. We can have a conversation. My conversation is for everybody to understand.
And look,
I can go into this.
Cats and dogs spread it too.
Well, I don't know about that. I know about rat.
And cockroaches as well.
Well, so if you live in a nasty place, if your place nasty and dirty, then you will get this disease there. your chances of getting it will be high. You understand? They tell you to clean your house, keep your house clean. That's it.
Clean boy, people on your back by clean boy.
I don't care.
Always on
I
your
don't
back, you
care.
know, clean. Your back brand
What do you
boy.
mean? But Eugene, I can talk proper English for some people to understand, you know. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, you want to talk in a way for the people that doesn't really understand the high level English. That's what you're saying. That's why
Yeah,
I've come across like that. But basically, what they're telling you is clean your surroundings, keep your yard clean, keep your yard free from rubbish. You know, burn what you can burn, dump what you have to dump, stuff like that. Keep inside your house clean. If you have a nasty house, the chances of rata living inside your house. Okay, rata is not a word, but it's colloquial language.
Yeah, right.
But the
We know
chances
rat.
of rat, but in proper English, I say rat infestation. Some people can't understand those things there. So I'll just say rata, then why is rata? Not true? So if your house full of rata, rata will piss in your water, your bucket and your jerry can and your bucket and white water, they will piss in it. And then you will drink it and you'll get sick.
Miss Emma, you were just on. What happened? Come back in again. Well, just about to add you. You know,
Where is she?
again, I don't know how she coming back on.
She will. It's the same process. She will just connect with her again. And
Let's send the link for her.
Clint boy, them people like your back
I
boy,
don't care
Clint
what
boy.
I say, Richie. I don't want what language you want me to talk tonight. I don't know special language talking for nobody. I don't want back down. It's just basically that.
Hi,
So they can talk.
Miss. How are you?
Good evening. Clint, good evening.
How are
Nice
you?
to see you. Come on. Do us better
What?
than that as a St. Andrews alumni. Come on. If you don't know, you can
No, we are
simply
the top. No, no,
join
no,
the
no, 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 no.
lounge.
Wait, wait.
You have to pull it up. You have to just pull it up. It's a bacterial
Listen, listen, listen,
infection.
listen, 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 listen,
You
listen,
can
listen.
pull
We're
it
not
Let
up.
gonna
her talk,
argue
miss. Let her
tonight.
talk. Let
Let
her
me
talk. Let her
finish.
talk. Let her talk,
No,
and then
no,
we
no,
go.
no,
Because
no, 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 no,
let
no,
me
no,
finish
no.
talking, Clint. Because the
Okay,
problem
go ahead.
is you guys have a set of people following you. That's why I'm coming on. You have a set
Okay,
of
okay,
people
okay.
following you, and people are depending on you to give out some information. I like what you guys do, but when you're coming on, you have to be prepared. So if you know you were going to bring up leptospirosis, somebody should have pulled it up, check it out, and whatever. Like I didn't know all the details about it. I just pulled it up on my computer now, right? But I know in Dominica there have been people who touch something. It could even be in your house. Like say I have cans of food, right? Like you have a can of something. If you pick up, say, a can, a mice pass on and pee, and you didn't know, right? And you had a cut, and just even if you take that same can and you're washing it off by doing your due diligence, and that infection get into your system, you can contract. So it is not a nasty people disease. It is a disease that can affect any and anybody at any given time. You could be walking outside. You run outside for something. A rat had passed and pee in your yard. Your foot has an open sore on it. You're not even paying attention to remember. Shoot, you're running outside to pick up clothes or something from the line, and just simply walking outside. That is your biggest enemy, and your house clean.
Can I
Yeah,
say
go
right
ahead.
now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, listen. Growing up as a kid, I could go and climb a mango tree. Those days there, you have one grafted mango on the tree with a bud mouth on it. We cut out the bud mouth and we bite it. But not knowing that bats transmit the disease too. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
No. I understand what she's saying. But every Dominican knows. Every single Dominican, unless you're retarded or you doesn't hear or something, knows that a nasty surroundings would have a rat.
Not
Yes.
necessarily. Not
What do you mean not
necessarily.
necessary now?
No,
Wait.
not necessarily.
I understand what you're saying, but listen.
Okay, right.
Rats are
What would
everywhere in
make
Dominica. Everywhere there are
hello,
rats. I driving
hello.
on the road and I seen
You
manicure.
see, I make you talk a while ago, you make me talk now.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna ask you, and you will answer me now.
Mm.
What tell me what is one of the things that make rats want to be around your house?
It could be anything. They prey. So if a rat is eating something that they feel like they're interested in, it could be anything. A
Okay,
rat
so
eat a
let
rat
me ask you,
infested neighbor. You ask me a question, let me answer it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
are correct that if you have debris and food and stuff outside, it's an attraction. But there are people, even in the United States, where our garbage gets picked up. Look, in my own yard, I'm not even going to lie. I had to call my pest control guy to come and put black boxes all over my yard to make sure that if a rat passes in my yard, the black box attracts it with food, with poison to eat it and kill it. That's for my safety. And my house is impeccably clean. My surroundings are clean. It doesn't mean that they're not going to pass by. It has nothing to do with that.
Well, I'll tell you something about you in America. The other thing about you in America is that because of how America is, how I'd say, developing, how would they say, quote unquote, we infiltrating the animal world, the animal kingdom. We pushing them back, so they coming on us in groves.
So what do you
But
think
anyway,
we're doing in Dominica? What
but
do
if
you
you
think we're
go, no,
doing in
no, no,
Dominica?
I gonna show you. I gonna show you something else. If you leave Wesley, if I leave Wesley now and I go Roseau, I will see more rata in Roseau. And the reason for that is because you have more food action happening in town. You have more garbage, you have more sewage on the roadside, all that thing. So you find you have more of those things. If you leave Florida, certain parts of Florida you live, you have more rats than New York. And New York is a place that have plenty rat. If I leave
Listen,
Dominica, no,
I
wait.
worked
If I
when I
leave, let me just finish talk and you go talk after.
Mhm.
If I leave Dominica now and I go Antigua, no. The type of rata you seen in Antigua, Dominica doesn't have it.
Listen to me.
And you want to know, let me tell you why. One reason is Antigua is a much more nasty place than Dominica.
So give thanks for Dominica being cleaner then.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you have to have from your yard and inside your house dirty. That is
Well,
the
what you
problem.
need to focus on, so here's how the conversation could go in a more
Yeah,
positive
yeah.
light is
I know.
okay, you hit hard on the trash, the debris, which is a factor, which is definite. So you want to say, yes, we have debris on the road. I was in Dominica for 8 weeks. My garbage only got picked up one time. I had to end up
Mm.
burning my garbage in my
That's what
backyard.
I'm
I
saying.
didn't even well, let me finish. I didn't even wait.
Yeah.
So saying that if the only place where you could even have that excuse is if you're in town, right? We already know how to dispose of our garbage in Marigot. Here are a here's a few ways that you can dispose of your trash. First of all, your fowl, your chicken, and those animals, that is like your waste, your garbage waste from your kitchen. You can get some chickens and they can feed on it. There's a place in Europe where the government was spending millions of dollars on garbage collection and stuff like that. What they did, they gave each family 2 or 3 chickens, and they tell them feed their waste to the chickens. And you won't believe it, the chickens, they had so much less waste going into their landfill, and then they also let the people have chickens at the same time, which gave them meat and gave them eggs at the same time. So they killed two birds with one
One
stone.
stone.
So when you're looking at those issues, you'll have to look at how can you solve the problem, and not just focusing on government, but how can you solve the problem as an individual.
I
You
like I
know,
like your point. She made a strong point in providing a solution to the problem,
Mm-hmm.
where that you get you
but
get you
you're
get
reaching that
animals.
yet. We see we didn't reach
Um,
that point there yet. We were just browsing about the whole leptospirosis thing. We were just talking about it. We didn't come down to nowhere to say what are causing it. Because we were just browsing on it to say how we can correct it and stuff like that. But I know how we can correct it because
Of
even
course,
with the
I
chicken,
expect. That's why I tell you I
wait,
expect
wait.
more from you, because I go to school with you. If
Right. So even
I'm not different from you, no. Me and you get the same instructions
good.
in school. You were only one
So
class behind me, so it's not like I get more than you. You get the same teaching I get. So
I like
that's
this
why I
lady.
said I want to see you bring the conversation up to the
so we
next
would get to that
level.
point there. We would always get to that point there. We were just talking
I like
about
this lady right here. Where you from, miss?
Marigot,
Marigold.
or you can ask me where I'm from.
Lady
No, I just
accent.
asking. I just asking. You know?
I cocoa you want me for talk. I'm
Yeah,
Marigot
I
on
want to
the
hear
Right.
the
mouth.
cocoa, man. I want to hear the cocoa, man. But yeah,
Oh Lord.
you see, so here we are. We presented the situation about leptospirosis. We understand what was the cause of the leptospirosis, animal feces, animal urine, and stuff like that. Now we have to find out solutions in order to get rid or solve this problem. So we have one problem, which is trash. How do we eliminate our
You burn
garbage?
your trash like they did in the old days. You cannot sit and wait for government at this point in our existence. And like, I'm not for party, so I always let everybody know I'm not for UWP, I'm not for Labour. But if I have a problem and I'm living in Marigot and I was there for 8 weeks, you never see trash by my place because I say, oh yeah, it's so. I bought my booker. Okay, I collected my garbage and I burned my garbage. My mother saying, oh, you can't burn trash like that no more. Says who? When you bring the rubbish truck, I will stop. If you're not bringing a rubbish truck, I'm not going to leave it there because, like you're saying, it's an attraction for rodents, it's an attraction for everything. So you cannot pile up your garbage by the side of the road, waiting for garbage truck that you know is not coming. The
No problem.
second thing you can do, Clint, which our people are not doing, you can compost your trash. You separate the
I
Yes.
know.
plastic.
I know.
So you wash
Yes.
out your in the
We
US,
are doing
I
that.
wash out when I finish with a bottle of ketchup, I wash it out. And you can collect all of that in a bag for when the truck do pass, because they do pass at a certain time. And when they pass, they can just pick that up and go without no problem. So you're now going to compost and you're going to use the compost to grow some vegetables that you're not getting in the market, or to grow some vegetables for food that is not readily available. Like I was in Dominica, everybody throwing gramaxone in their yard. Okay, that to me more dangerous than even the leptospirosis, because you'll hear leptospirosis kill 1 or 2 people, but look at the cases we are having of cancer and all kinds of diseases, because people do not remember how to take that scrap from your garbage can, dig a hole, throw it down, cover it with some dirty, okay, and keep layering it until you get some nice clean dirt. You take out that dirty there, you dig another hole, you let that cure, and you move on. Talk to me, Clint. We do agricultural science.
Say that again to me them. Which over the grammar over the grammar
Dig a hole, put the rubbish in the hole, cover them with dirty,
no
and
the grammar zone.
oh yeah, in grammar, in when I was home,
Uh-huh.
every single yard I pass in, like
Mhm.
my place is in the Woodford Hill area. I'm from
I know.
Marigot.
I
From
know.
Marigot to Woodford Hill, I cannot count the number of houses I passed by where they were
Uh-huh.
trying to weed or clean up in front of their yard, and they were
Oh,
using Gramaxone to do that. Now,
herbicides.
once Gramaxone goes into your soil, it's in there for 20 years. And it's the main reason that there is so many cases of cancer in Dominica. The number one reason.
Because of the gabardine, right?
Yes.
The exposure to the chemical.
I don't
Correct,
eat.
correct.
Listen, when I was in Dominica, the only people I ate from on West Flat was that Miss Yuyut and Miss
Yeah, yeah.
Osule. Yeah.
I saw them on Saturday.
Mario, you.
Yeah. I was very, 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 very picky about who I bought food from. You had to convince me that.
Well, yeah. I don't want to change the topic too much,
Yeah, go ahead back
but
to your leptospirosis. But that
no,
is
no, no,
one
no.
way to
I
get
was
rid.
gonna elaborate a little bit on what you were just saying. Yeah, that is a problem because everybody uses those herbicides to clear their land. Everybody does it. So eventually, you're gonna find a lot of sick people around. It's a fact.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
So back to
let
the
me say
lecture now.
let me
Go ahead,
say
go
that
ahead, go
real
ahead.
quick. With the
Uh-huh.
point about the poison being one of the cancerous agents or leading cancerous agents on the island is because in America here they don't want you to use certain pesticides around your yard, and
No,
they banning it.
there's no grammar
They
zone in America.
there's
Yes, there
also
is. There's
lawsuits
grammar zone
against
there.
Roundup and stuff like that in America, where they where people are suing Roundup, the company that producing Roundup, that producing certain pesticides. So
That's true.
in the Caribbean islands, we get the last bit of what trickles down in. We probably we are probably the testing fields for all these companies who mass produce their products, and they gave us whatever they want for them to test to see what will work better. So
But
at the
that's
end of
one
the
of the
day, we get in the raw mess. So
that's one of the reasons
I
why.
agree with her
So,
point,
Clint,
and I like your.
that's how you're going
Mhm.
to take your village now. So instead of criticizing, you're now going to gather up, make a program now for Wesley. And you can either do a flyer and distribute it to your village to say, okay, you can ask for help out here just for printing, or to put up some nice flyers to say, well, okay, we are facing an issue with leptospirosis due to inadequate garbage disposal or pickup or whatever. So now you can use this forum here as just you can go back and do your research to see how to effectively get rid of garbage. I gave you two ways already, through composting, through the chickens, and then you can also burn it and make ash that you can still put back into your garden.
Into your soil.
It's not.
Yep.
I don't think it's really critiquing. I honestly believe every single household let's use Wesley. Every single household in Wesley knows how to dispose of rubbish. It's just a lazy practice we've been having for the last couple of years, and nobody seems to want to come back. Because look at that here. When I fry my plantain and I peel my cocoa and my fig and my whatever dashing, I don't put those in the rubbish bag. I put those in my banana tree, in the tree root, planting root, and in the fig tree root, and so on, as manure. When I
But people
use
don't
any,
know that. The average person, the average child now doesn't
Doesn't
know
know that.
that. And
oh
that
well,
is
if you're
where we
telling me, if
that's
you're
where we
telling
have the
me,
disconnect. So this is the point I want to make to you. This is the
uh,
biggest problem in Dominica. There is a disconnect from our ancestral ways of doing things as to why we survived. I mean, which part you may they hear about leptospirosis in our wheat time? You know me they hear about that, okay?
No.
Because every weekend you had to scrub out the house there with a brush until the floor
Dettol,
shine. You had to
Dettol.
clean up every morning, every afternoon. You sweep in your yard, right? Morning and afternoon. Every Saturday, you have to pick up all rag, everything your grandmother burning that. That's just what you, the child, doing, Growing up, still coming behind you and doing more behind you, all what you don't catch. You understand? So now we have to kind of bring back those teachings. So that's what I'm saying. Instead of criticizing, get into the school as an elder. You're an elder now in the Wesley community. So you can formulate a program. You're an old man, Me know which part you age day. You're an elder. So you now need to challenge yourself to go to the next level.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Hey, my
I
lady,
appreciate that. I
what's your
appreciate
name
that.
again?
Ama, Halima
Halima,
for Margaret.
Alma Thomas.
Halima,
I love you, man. I love your way your way in which you bringing the thing across. We can't always bash. We have to educate, and we have to
Yes.
provide solutions for the people and them to be able to go to. So I love that style of yours. And I also love something you said earlier, that you are not either for any
Any
party.
party.
You are for people, and for people making the decision to move forward with their life. I like your style, and I like the way in which you
That's
speak,
where we
man.
need to bring Dominica, so that when you bring everybody to the middle and you educate them, then they can make the decision. Do I want Labour? Do I want UWP? Do I want Freedom or the other parties? Then the parties have to come and beg you for your vote. then you can negotiate with the parties to say, okay, this is what I want for the village of Wesley. You want our vote? We're in the middle. We're sitting here. I know how to round up my people in Wesley, not to vote for you. So if you're going to get our vote, we want our rubbish truck coming every single week on a day. If it doesn't happen, I mean, they can miss a few days, but it of no fault of theirs, because I saw a rubbish truck. Somebody pushed down a rubbish truck in the sea.
In the sea.
Yes. Okay. So that is another measure stay now. People doing so then now the government have to spend money to go and get that rubbish truck out there, fix it. Meanwhile, all the people that rubbish truck was servicing, they are not being serviced.
So
when we having the conversation, we have to debate both sides, whether you're for the government or against the government.
Well, maybe the rubbish truck you see was somebody making a point.
Miss
like
Ava,
that.
I like you. I like you. You bring it straight down. You don't have no corners to cut. I like it. I like her style. I like your style.
None.
You don't cut in no corner.
And Clint, that's why I have a bone to pick with you next time I see you for when they had hold you up.
What's that?
They're coming back for you.
So Mr. Clint, now that she made some strong points, are you gonna take up on anything? Are you gonna do a educational session with the youths in Wesley or the people in Wesley?
Yes, Clint.
Well,
Do that.
no, that can happen. I mean, I know Halima, you know, be
And
cool
Clint,
for a
I
while.
guarantee you that if you have that program,
And-
the Northeast Wesley USA chapter, if you put something serious together, there is a group here that you can solicit for. We're not into giving out handouts anymore, but you can say this is a cleanup campaign. You can go to your village council first. If your village council is not able to help you, then you can go to you can walk your village, you can hand out flyers. And if you need some support to print the flyers, I am sure, I guarantee you, Clint Roll, will get the money you need to print the flyers for a program like that.
Yeah, and the benefits of sifting your garbage, because we do sift our garbage. We have our own compost, and we put metals aside and plastic aside and breakables aside.
Well, that might be a good thing for Cardo's Media. 3 of us there, right there,
Yes.
so we can follow up on it and see what happens.
I think I appreciate the challenge, and I'm gonna have to take it up.
Yeah, it's a good challenge.
It's a good challenge. So we are being challenged right now to educate our public about proper disposal of our trash, so we eliminate the leptospirosis pandemic from happening in our country. Before it happens. We take it by the horn before it even comes about. I appreciate that challenge, and I'm gonna take it up. It's something that it brings about community strength and community awareness, and
have a conversation with the Prime Minister, because if you're doing this and you put it on the thing, you know how your Prime Minister works. He likes popularity, he likes notoriety. So you say you're doing this, you say, okay, not in a rude way or a way to get him upset further, but you would say, this is what I'm doing in Wesley. We need assistance here. So another thing you could do is, how do you get old buckets or whatever, especially the shut-in and the elderly, to help them? You have your crew of boys, they pick up the trash, you dispose of it for them, the shut-ins in those instances, until they have their trucks running. Because I was told in Marigot that it was because the truck was down, they were not coming. Now somebody might say, where's all the money that go in there? I don't have time for that. The thing is, I have a problem now, and I need to solve the problem now. And the thing is, in the past, we've never had to depend on a rubbish truck coming to pick up our trash. Never in the history of Dominica. That was those people.
But we used to do nastiness too back in the day. When we used to have can, we used to go and find some valley and just throw them can down in the valley down there.
Yeah, but they were decomposing like Malhole. You know where's, right? You don't know Malhole? Malhole.
I know where. Yeah, I know Malhole, yes.
Malhole is right by my home. We used to just throw that down in Malhole. The amount of nice mango coming out in Malhole, you can never find mango sweeter. So the waste was actually being decompose down there. You understand? Which wasn't
Yes.
so much of a bad thing. Or we would just burn it in the yard. So it
That's why
wasn't
they
like,
say Gary Agrong used to get the sweetest mango.
yes.
Where? By the cemetery? Yeah.
They say Gary Agrong used to get the sweetest mango
Yeah, because it's
because
that decomposing material that's there. And the minerals, it's rich in minerals. And the roots are going to go down into that person. And it will also have fragments of the dead person DNA into the mango too.
in the mango.
So all who me they near mango, they have something in them.
I remember there was a big long mango tree by the Catholic church, right by the cemetery there, but they cut it
In the
down.
cemetery,
You can remember it, Richie?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
it, definitely.
A big long mango tree, but we used to stone that.
Richie, where are you from? Where's Richie from?
Richie, where you
Where's
from?
Wesley.
Okay.
And where's Fido from? Fido.
Wesley.
Fido.
Oh, Fido. So
Wesley.
this is a Wesley thing.
No, it's not a Wesley thing. It's a
No, Wesley
Dominica
thing,
thing.
a Dominica thing.
Okay.
We voice our opinions for Dominica, not just for any specific village.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
good job. But you all have to stay in the middle. When you come to such a forum, you have to be in the middle. In the middle.
And I love that. I love it. I try to stay in the middle as best as I can, but you know, Clint is on one
It's
side already, you
Clint.
know. And
It's Clint that doing that.
Clint don't realize he has to be in the middle too.
Clint, and we know how money for come bail you out again.
No, that's not gonna happen, man.
When you are an advocate for people, when you are trying to get something done, you catch, how they say, you catch flies with honey, not with vinegar.
Yeah, true that. True
So
that.
when you want to get stuff done in your village and you're having those issues, I passed through Wesley and I almost cried. I really did. I have to tell you all got to do something about Wesley. I mean, it has deteriorated significantly.
Yeah.
Like
Boy.
even as simply, you used to pass through Wesley, had the biggest, nicest house. Margot could never pass by Wesley in the days gone by for all those nice big houses, nice hedges, you know, stuff well cut. Like, you know, even growing some hedge and having the young people come out and even though you don't have money, you have your hands and you have a vision for what your village need to look like. So you can reach out again to fundraise to get some prizes. Annette Thomas did it in Carib Reserve. She had a backyard gardening competition. And you can integrate all the thing about the leptospirosis, all of that into it. And beautification. So people won prizes. And I know Wesley people like to show off, so they will put their money in to get, so you can, yes, Wesley people is a show off people. And they always like to be, no, it's not in a bad way. They like to be number one. So you have to get that back into the people, because when I passed through Wesley, I said, that is not Wesley. Like, you know, Wesley people were a very proud people, one of the most intelligent people in Dominica. The amount of doctors that come out of Wesley, you can never finish counting. So you have to find a way to get to those people to come back and help you initiate certain things in the village. And they will give, Clint. I know some of them. They will give. But it cannot be programs where it's handouts, because people done with that now. It's like, we will give you some seeds. Okay, you're fundraising. We have a backyard garden competition. Yeah, here's some seeds. Let's see you plant it and grow food. Let's see how the people that planted it, how they worked with their kids to do that. So all of that now will detract from the rodents.
I appreciate Miss Thomas for coming on this live tonight, yo. She really brought the point across without bringing the point across in a dictatorial manner. She brought the point across, making us know, well, yeah, there's certain avenues we have to take, and I like that. I appreciate your candor tonight, Miss Thomas. It was very much appreciated.
Well,
You
well,
must join us anytime you feel like. Just, you know, we on all the time, you know. We on all the time.
I am so always working. I just was scrolling and I saw Clint. It's Clint I see, you know.
Mm.
And I saw somebody giving him a hard time in the comments. So I said, let's elevate the discussion a little bit. Because you don't want to be in a position where people throw in Mapwe. You want to say, you see, when I talk, labor rights must respect me because I laid on my points. I laid on my points. But they know I'm not for government. Okay. Same thing with UWP. UWP are a little bit more tough on me because they think I should support them because I don't support Labor, I should support them. And I say, no, my vote is mine. If I have to
Yes.
go and cast it, my vote belongs to me. I am very selfish with my vote, and nobody would ever get to know what my vote is. The person looking for my vote have to sell themselves to me for my vote. So we need to get the conversation going in a way where people can understand. It's not like I come in my village and do what you want thing and you get the vote. And the only way to do it is by making people more self-sufficient, more independent. Back to the old Wesley of Wesley Nega. You couldn't, I mean, I worked in Dominica Agricultural, Industrial and Development Bank in the 90s. Wesley man used to come to pick up check, weekly check for 10 grand. I'm not telling you what somebody telling me, I'm telling you what I know. That is in the
That's true.
imagine in 1990, a man walking into a bank every week and get 10 grand. It had a man in Wesley, he used to come and laugh. He said, don't give him the check until it reaches 100,000. And he would just pick up his truckings, which was 3 grand every week. And that is in days when $200 used to make groceries for your whole house. So that man, when he used to come, he said, "Are you ready to give me the check now? 100 grand." And he gone about his business. That was the Wesley I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I want us to get back to them days there. That is part of the reason why we started this program. Is because we want to educate the people and uplift the people to make the conversation, make it resonate with the people so that they can know their value, their worth. Why does he have to go to the PM again?
PM again.
Or he has to go to the PM again because we need the assistance.
We need
not just
we need the conversation. When you're building your community, instead of fighting with the PM, go to the PM. Whether you're for the PM or not for the PM, it is your government. You are owed everything that the PM has to offer. It belongs to you because this is taxpayers' money that goes into the bank for Dominica. And you will now have a track record to say, I came to you X amount of times, and this is why I will not vote for you. Based on this track record, we came to you, we asked you X, Y, Z for this, and we did not get that. Now, if you never do that, he will say you never came. He will say there's no relationship between whatever. And then even on a lower level, you need to challenge your parliamentary representative. Even before that, you need to challenge your village council.
council. True.
Yes. So first you work with the people, you work with council. Matters that council cannot handle, that you need to go to central government, then council will tell you right away that central government issue. So now, together with some villagers in Wesley, you could draft a proposal. You have so many heads that in Wesley, I mean to say, like Wesley just have some of the smartest people I know. And you go to them to help them. Because all I seen that happening right now in Dominica from both parties, people just talking. The same people that are in the opposition, they're not doing anything in the village to say, this is what I'm doing for you to help you to grow from where you are. To solicit the people. Okay, if I'm a UWP, right? And I know all them people against the government, I am going to find a way to get programs going in my village. Now, people will say, oh, Scary don't want certain things to come through. But I have done stuff in my village without Scary doesn't interfere with what's going on in Margot. Scary can never come in Margot and interfere with our programs. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to build yourself now to a level, where people respect you. And when
Hey,
you see if Margot people went to Scary now to ask him for something and demand it.
you give it.
You understand?
He will give it immediately because the other day they broke the road in Sam's Gutter. The same afternoon the road was fixed in Sam's Gutter. The
Because
same
they know
afternoon.
what was going to happen. They knew what was going to happen. Somebody donated stuff to Ware School all the way from Europe. They were going to take the stuff and send it somewhere else in Dominica to some other school they built. And we were like, okay, come for it. Come for the furniture. Come and get it. If you name man, come and pick it up this afternoon. They just dropped it. You never heard about that, but that is a situation. Now,
Yes.
if the people of Wesley, another way of doing stuff, right? If you have people donating stuff into Wesley, don't let them give it to the Wesley. You let them lease it to the people of Wesley for $1. You have a lawyer draw up a contract. So if you, Clint, have an organization and they want to donate, like, say, a printer for you to print children homework, don't ever let it become the people of Wesley printer. Because then they can say, oh, it's the school printer, and they can send it to another village. They can send it Margot if Margot have a printer. But if there's an organization that lease the printer to the school for $1, the organization can come back and retrieve its printer because the
Yes.
printer, in essence, doesn't belong to the school.
To the school.
It belongs to the organization. So we have to start thinking about many ways to cut all the BS out of all our own personal development. It cannot be we don't have a way to make ourselves better.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot, though. It takes a lot.
I love the
Say
value
again?
added here.
No, I was saying
Well,
she's bringing out a lot of valid points.
Yeah.
I hope
Well, I was
the
about
people
to say
in the
something.
audience taking notes.
I was about to say something earlier. I was about to say I'm the only person on the live now who already knows Halima. And tonight she just being the Halima I always know.
I was always a
I
troublemaker.
remember school days,
I got the
man.
most detention you could ever think of in high school. In 1 year, I get almost 30 detentions in St. Andrews.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
But
get
it's
plenty
because I was
myself.
the main reason is I was never challenged. Look, my daughter coming out to watch me. In 4 form, I was suspended 3 times. Okay? Yes. Because, again, you challenge me, I was going to challenge you back. And my mouth never had no bridle for nobody. And when I go home, my mother was never going to punish me for telling the truth. So I was always allowed to say my truth. So I never had to worry about going home and getting a beating for standing up for myself. No, if I was wrong, I was in lots of trouble. And I always knew the line to toe. You understand?
Yes.
I knew the point at which my mother would beat me. So I wasn't going to cross that
Cross
line there.
that line.
But as long as I know I was truthful and honest and what was happening, like for example, a teacher, like it was raining one day, mud was on my skirt. I walked into the classroom. The teacher said, "Hey, Halima, you have poop on your skirt. You don't wipe your bottom, man." I was like, I sit in the class, and then I say, "Sir, can I go outside, please?" He say, "Yes." I go straight to Mr. Edwards' office and I tell Mr. Edwards, I just find it a little bit insulting that teacher there would say that to me. Mr. Edwards call him. Him and Mr. Edwards spend the whole double period talking with. After he come back, he never had another word to say to me for the rest of the time he was in St. Andrews.
Wow.
You speak power.
Yes, you have to.
Yeah.
And we have to bring ourselves out of a mindset where we incapacitated. There's a lot you can do. Yes, they're making the airport at the bottom, so you're not gonna mess with down there. But at the top part, where you're coming into Wesley, where from London they will come all the way into Wesley. That should be nicely landscaped and Wesley still have some beautiful homes, you know. When you're coming into Wesley, you should be impressed because it is going to be the home of the international airport. So all now, you all should be beautifying, setting up, organizing. So by the time the airport opens, all your nice palm tree, all your nice guest house, everything, you are going to be the first to benefit from anything. But it has to start now, because if you don't plant your palm tree today, it's not when the airport build, you go, oh God, let me go plant one palm tree to make the yard. You have to plant the seed today for tomorrow.
For tomorrow, exactly. I want you to repeat something you said earlier in connection with holding our parties accountable. You said that you find I don't want to quote wrong. So say it over before so you can clarify.
Oh, you mean to hold I was saying, you mean regards to my vote?
Yes, to your vote, yes.
Yes, my vote is my vote. You can never buy my vote. Okay? But you have to tell me what you're going to do for me and my family in terms of economic empowerment. And both sides have to come to convince me. Now, the problem we have in Dominica is we have to say it the way it is. You don't never see certain people going house to house. I won't call name and party. But certain people will never go on the road and go house to house to talk to the people to say, this is how I can help you as a village. Let us organize ourselves in that way. So that is why when other people come now, they are given the leeway because that person say, this is how I'm going to help you. But all now so, the opposition should have something in effect that is at least helping the people of Wesley. And a lot of those things can be done without money. Like you have so many educated people, you can have some workshops, some basic, like how to do certain things. And then that way, by the time you garner that support base and you go for government, the people will say, yes, they train us, we wait in. You understand? Because you luck is when preparation meet opportunity. If you train your electorate, you train your voting population, and they're ready and they're waiting for you, they will vote for you. But if you have not done anything to show them what you're going to do, they're not going to vote for you. They're going to vote for what they see, which is money in their hand during election time.
I tell you, this lady right here, she on point, on point, on point. Drex, I gotta tell you, you say you are part of the UWP party. Listen to what this lady is saying.
Listen. Clint is not for no party. Clint is not for no party. Clint, never identify yourself with no party. Clint, I will talk for you now. You're not for no party. You are Clint Roll. You represent your people of Wesley. In the privacy of your home and when you go to the ballot box, you will determine who you give your vote to. The same way you challenge in Roosevelt Skerrit, you must also challenge Thompson Fountain to come to Wesley and garner the support. And if Thompson Fountain cannot come to Wesley and have a conversation with you, Clint, he should never get your vote.
1 second.
Regardless of what is going on in the country, which has been the problem that has been happening from time to time. People think that you should just vote for them because you want change, but change have to start in the community.
Thank you.
Okay, so Richie.
I love you. I love this lady.
Richie.
Yes.
So you see what I tell you? We pretty much have the same psyche in our head. Because I'll tell you, okay, Halima is a straight shooter. I know that.
Yes, I see that.
So the difference with me and her is Yes, I support the party, but not because I support the party means I gonna succumb to or every, if you want to call it all and sundry, the ideas, everything they have to say. No, I don't believe in that. And you see how much time I tell you, Richie, what I clamoring for Wesley when it comes to UWP.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I talk about it. It's the same thing she's saying.
But
Pretty
take
much
yourself
nothing
out of
happened.
that, Clint. You will have more power because you have a big following. You will have more power as not being associated with a party.
Party.
To chat, let me tell you, nobody loved Lennox Linton more than me. He was my pal rep. Okay? You can't say too much about Mr. James is my cousin Lennox Linton, whatever. However, if they have to be challenged, they're challenged. UWP, as it exists as an organizational structure, I don't agree with it. I wouldn't cast a vote for it. But it doesn't mean that key people inside of there, like Annette Sanford, like those people, that I don't like and respect them personally. However, the management style of the party, the execution of the party, does not allow for the people to rise up in a certain way. Let's get out of the let's go a little deeper into the politics. Like, for example, the riot that just happened. I don't know if you all ever touched on it. There is no way, if I was organizing a riot and I get to Roseau and I see pure old people that there, I going to let them go at the front and protest. You understand? Just out of some basic stuff, out of respect for the elderly. Secondly, there is no way you should hold a protest without your own security there. Meaning, there should be a set of people, like maybe in white t-shirt or whatever, maybe it marks security, that stands between the people and the police. So the people know never to cross that security line. They can even show themselves as more effective by having their own rope that hold their people back. You understand? No. If the police come and see you have a rope that holding your people back and they have a barrier and you give them 5 feet between your rope, your line
And the
of
barrier.
demarcation, and theirs, they're not going to bother with you. You can make all the noise you want on the other side. They will never advance, right? No. What I saw, and a lot of people will give me slack for it, is I saw with my own 2 eyes from the videos that the people did advance first and start to push down the gates.
The gates, yeah.
If you were
Exactly.
to
That
do
is
that,
true.
if you did that in America, you would have gotten the exact same
Response.
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 No, some people went overboard, like the guy that was throwing the stone and advancing. He need to be disciplined. And I think they removed him as whatever, right? It didn't come on radio, but he gone into retirement now. Okay. So that needed to be settled. Now, if you're going to do another way, you could have done a protest. So you can definitely, I could do a protest with a whole bunch of youth and we just handcuff our hand and just walk through Roseau. You just chain or tape your hand and you walk through Roseau with only your voice chanting. That would send some shiver down their spine because you already hold yourself
Prisoner.
you hold yourself prisoner, so they can never come and say you did something to them. But you have to have a lot of discipline when you're going to have a protest.
True.
Secondly, protests are never really, when you're having a protest, the protests have to be the icing on the cake. You have garnered enough support from the community, and the community is going to come out to make a point. So when you got to Roseau and you saw it was a little bit of people, you should have just gathered them on the bayfront and just have a meeting and then walk up and then have some goals and objectives and just have the meeting there talking about what they're against. But it was not organized.
It wasn't organized.
And I blame the leaders for putting, because my aunt was there. You check So if something had happened to my aunt, like I would be upset, right? And she's in her 70s. She's not a violent person. So then everybody was put at risk.
Mm-hmm.
And however you want to execute your protest, you cannot be blatantly in public saying certain things like the guy that was saying, let us go and get a load of stone. They're going to
Stone.
come for you.
Foolishness. Foolish talk that. That is foolish talk.
They're going to come for you. So those things on the part of the leaders that were together, whether it's the Electoral Commission or whatever, or other people, this thing should have been done properly. The youth should have been at the front and center of it. And there should have been meetings all over Dominica, educating the people about what was in the bill.
Yeah.
Because up to now, I don't know
Thank
what
you.
is in the bill.
True.
You understand? So for those that are internet savvy, you could have online public meetings. For those that are not internet savvy, like your older people, your in
Your town
between
hall
people, you have your town hall meeting, and you go village to village to tell the people. You know, is that they're going and do. You know, is that you're going and lose as a citizen. People say, what? When you break that down, bye. Are you kidding? Every time I go to Dominica, I campaign. And every time I go, I bring people to my point of view. Every time.
So you know, for me, my biggest problem with the whole protest thing there is the fact that the party went into its split. Because you see what happened? Like you just said, the party went
That
around
is
the
why you should
island.
not align yourself with what you don't know about.
Wait.
You don't know how inside of their running. You dey in a nigger yard. You grow up in a their house. Inside a nigger house, they may have all kind of song they go
They
on.
all kind of rats.
You still want to put your hand in fire for them.
They all kind of rat pissing and shitting all
No,
over the
no,
place,
no,
being left with sclerosis.
listen what I was saying. Listen what I was saying. What I was saying is, it was clear that they were split because here it is, you had the leader of the party on the ground in the protest, and you had the deputy leader in the house voting for something that the people outside was protesting against.
Again.
But did you know that the deputy leader had already told the leader that he was going to vote like that?
Thank you very much
So
for the
I
information.
made a big live, and then I was told after that he was properly informed that that is how his vote was going. I heard that the people in the representative from Marigot had also gone to his village and said that is how he was going to vote, right? No, I did make a thing against it because I still believe if you represent a party, that is not the time to go against the party, nor the time to go against the general consensus of your village. You know the people of Marigot do not want this, you vote no on their behalf. The vote is not yours, right? The vote can never be yours. So you should never go and vote in parliament against your constituencies. That's called political suicide, right?
Exactly.
Very true.
Secondly, there were certain things in the bill that they could have pressed, I was told, in certain ways that the deputy leader had gone back and negotiated, right? That was never brought to light, right? So, which is where I'm saying the education of the public did not happen, because you needed to say, the deputy leader, you needed to have had meetings to let the people know this is what the deputy leader worked on for your behalf. He's going to go into parliament and he's going to vote on it for XYZ reasons, because we are at a gridlock, and because he negotiated XYZ, he has no choice but to vote in that direction, because he feels he can later go back and renegotiate, right? But the ego of the leader was, we go forward with the protest, which then put the people at risk.
At risk.
Meanwhile, the deputy leader and the parliamentary representative and the other member of parliament for the Salisbury constituency, only them knew, not only them, but the public was not informed of what they were going
was
to
going
do.
on?
So I feel like the protest would have been nullified if the people already knew. They wouldn't feel the need to go there.
Yeah, but the question I have for that is, if the party had known that that was going to happen, why did they go around the country asking people
No, it's at the
to come
last
to
minute that
us?
happened. At the last minute. It's not like it's towards the end.
But
Yes,
still
but they could have
again,
still
Made
said
a
something,
public
though.
statement.
They could
And
have
if
still made a
you-
public statement.
Let me ask you a question. I'm not in Dominica. Did the leader of the UWP, did the opposition leader, did he go and make a public statement after whatever happened with the protest? Did
Addressing
he
the
ever make a
Dominican public?
statement?
No.
Addressing Dominican public?
No.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, he has not. And I have begged him a couple of times to come out on the live and make a statement, or go to another public
Forum.
Dominican station and make a statement. He went on all different stations. He went to St. Vincent. He went to Grenada. He went to Jamaica, on these people's platforms, making statements and denouncing the statement, the vote that the deputy leader made. So why is he not coming to a Dominican platform to bring his message across? And
Let me tell you, this is how you play political chess. You see, after the deputy leader did that, in order for you to solidify your position as the leader of the party, you would now have to hold a public meeting and
Exactly.
publicly denounce on the Bayfront with all your supporters that you do not like what happened. So this is where you earn the respect of your electorate, because your electorate has come out whatever. So now your deputy leader is more powerful than you.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
That is the same sentiment that we
Some of the
share.
things I want to say, I can't say that one live because
Sentiment that we share.
it bothers me. It bothers me.
Because
What?
now the deputy leader can come now, just like somebody explained his point of view to me, and I was able to understand why he made his move. He too should have come to the public and say, this is why I voted.
Yeah.
I know you guys are upset with me, but people of Dominica, this is why I did it. I'm telling you, had he done that the next day, he would be the next leader of the party.
Oh no, he did do
I think he did
that.
that.
He did.
Oh, he did? He did?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So then he's the next leader. The current leader is non-effective.
It's null and void.
Yes,
ma'am,
null and void.
ma'am, you are
Yeah.
on point. You cooking with hot oil. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know what booze are you had there. So what you cooking tonight? There, so
Me
you
have me
cooking
booze.
tonight. I don't
So
know
now,
about kerosene.
Clint, because you're not for party anymore and you have separated yourself from all the political chaos, because remember, your life and everything was in the police hands at one point. I'll me they crave for you, okay? So now you have to now separate yourself as somebody who just wants what is right for Wesley. Stay in only Wesley. If everybody stays in their community, you don't see Marigot people. Marigot people don't want nobody to kill their enemy. No, it's they that have to kill their own enemy. No, you cannot come to Marigot. Two men will be on the road there. They're talking to each other, and you from Wesley can't come and mess with him, you know.
Yeah, true that.
Yes. So you now have to go back to your community and insulate Wesley, build your programs, solicit the support from outside, because amidst all the chaos, there has to be one set of people like you guys, the young people. The people know you guys. You are on the ground. This is who the people know. They see you every day. And you have to work with them about what you can do to help them to earn their respect, to build up the community, so that you will have enough power to say, well, I know that I have the support of at least 300 people in Wesley. So if you think you're going to come into Wesley and do XYZ, it won't happen. And then when you stick, when Marigot operates as Marigot, I'm telling you, a regular Marigot, that is a labor right. If somebody from outside come to do them anything, the people in Marigot will still not let you hurt their own people. The same thing
True
for
that.
Grand Bay and Salisbury. You cannot
True
go in
that.
them place there and do anything, regardless of. So that is the kind of level of operation, because you cannot change the system on a whole. So now the individual villages need to now
To change.
fold into their villages, work in their village to develop their villages. You ever drive through Jubla? You drive through Jubla? You ever drive through Jubla? Jubla is one of the most beautiful villages in Dominica, Jubla.
True that.
And that is the people doing their own work for their own self.
Own self.
Yeah, true.
Self-reliance, self-sufficiency. That is how we were in Wesley and Marigot before.
Yes. And Wesley need to come back and join back with Marigot. It's two English speaking village, When they see us, they're not seeing
Patois.
they're seeing us as Marigot and Wesley, all you those Marigot and Wesley people. What did we put out? Our ego, the way we carried ourselves with pride. We put out doctors, lawyers, engineers, nurses, teachers, policemen, firemen. We had the biggest farmers from Marigot, from Concord to Calibishi. It produced the most bananas in Dominica. I have the statistics. I have the reports. We have the richest agricultural lands in Dominica because we are around Mont Diablote, which is the oldest volcano in Dominica. So Salisbury on the other side also have rich soils. All around Diablote, rich, fertile soil. And so we have the capacity to go back to our lands, to build our co-ops, to do what we have to do. We cannot do it on a Clint and Halima and Richie level. We have to now say, we're going to make a co-op, put politics aside. Let us build back Wesley. When it's time to vote, you will go and put your vote. But in the meantime, Wesley have to function.
As a community. As
a community.
As a whole.
And anybody that coming in Wesley for vote, make them work for it.
Make them show their value for the community. Make them show their love for the community.
Yes.
We don't vote for you because of party.
Yes.
We're voting for you because you're gonna bring something to our community that we don't have. Some form of elevating our community. And I believe in that, my lady. I believe in that. You know what? You cook too much tonight. You cook a lot tonight. I don't want you to cook too much more, because you're gonna give us too much. We go overeat tonight, boy.
I'm a politician, but I'm not into politics. My thing is I'm in health and wellness. Okay. So my thing is, if the community, and that's the only reason I came on was the leptospirosis. But if the community builds themselves as your family, I'll say this and then I'll leave. The family is the launching pad of healthy individuals that are going to be productive in society. And what we knew in the past was that we had very successful families in Wesley launching very successful individuals. Why? Because Wesley people had a pride about themselves. They had an ego about themselves, and they carried themselves with certain dignity. Whether you couldn't read or write, when a farmer from Wesley came to pick up his $10,000 check, he not may have to know how to write his name. He can do a thumbprint, but he gets respect for his hard-earned work. So now we have to build back communities that have successful families launching successful individuals. That's it. That's the bottom line. And health and wellness, so that now the whole of Dominica can be talking about rubbish and leptospirosis, but Wesley don't know about that. And you can say, but Wesley Nigga don't know about that. Okay? That's what we used to be before. When Rosa people were emptying their
shit pail in the sea.
In the sea. We had flushing toilet and pit toilet. Like when I go Roseau, people used to tell me, you from the country. And then you go to their homes, and some people had no facilities. Meanwhile, we had flushing toilet inside and pit outside. Okay? So we only used to use inside on rainy days and in the night, and outside during the day. But we may have not one, but two methods of. So when people were talking, say, I will not know about that. When they come to shore, I remember a girl came up with me from Roseau, and she said, oh my God, all you have a nice house. I never know. I thought Margaret people is in board house alone they live in. And she couldn't get over the fact that we had a little wall house we had. And she couldn't get over it. But we had what we had.
That is so true.
I mean, Clint, when we go up, tell them, Clint, when we go St. Andrews, there is nobody I know from St. Andrews that come to America, that go to college, that don't graduate with honors. Nobody.
Yeah, true that.
Nobody, I don't know nobody.
Sometimes when the hungry holders is right in the fig field behind by the man, they used to go.
Yes.
And it's right big.
And we had pride the way we match, the way we carry our uniform. You couldn't see us fighting in uniform. Somebody would report you. We could. So you have to go back into the schools, to the children, to help in the community, to creating health and wellness programs for them, to working with the single mothers on how to cope with parenting because we're living in at different times, and all the knowledge that was supposed to be passed down. Sometimes your parents leave and go overseas to make better for you. You behind with granny. You never get that parenting skill that you needed. So now you starting to have children, you don't know, you don't have that mother to teach you, and you end up doing all kind of stuff. So you need to create all these things for these women and to help them.
They say don't let you stop. Let her keep on cooking. We need you people like you on the program.
Oh, that's Mr. Crispin Shillingford. But you need to get your panel together and get your people. I mean, there's more people that is more vocal than me that can come on.
Well, I want you to come on a night when we're gonna do a wellness talk, so we can, we can tap into your field specifically, so you can educate the people and give them a health and wellness situation. You know what I mean?
It's bad. I spent 8 weeks in Dominica last summer, and I cried to see what was happening in Dominica from a wellness point of view, especially where food production is concerned. I could never go and buy food from somebody by the road, because I'm telling you, all the food that is being produced is soaked in Gramazone. The soil that they're growing the food in, whether they cut it, they burn it down and whatever after, the food is loaded with pesticides. Loaded. And there's no government. So that's where you make your government accountable now. You can count. You can go to the registry to find out how many people have died from Wesley in the last 5 years or so from cancer, or you can start collecting the data. And then you look out to your Wesley people that are doctors, and you let them write up a report based on this report that there seems to be a problem. So we need some kind of
intervention,
research and intervention. And that is where you become self-sufficient as a community. Let me give Wesley people a challenge. Marigot people have gone ahead, and we are doing what we have to do for our community, however we can. Like right now, Margot School have 4 smart boards in it. Okay? I would like Wesley to come up to the same level. Okay? I would also like to see some sports program come up in the village, like little children. Like I start playing netball 6, 7, 8 years old, like little netball club and stuff. However, you all can organize it, get some like a uniform, and then start to train them young. If they can't do netball, they do soccer. And then to challenge Margot people to have the same clubs and start playing against each other for
Each other.
fun. Yes. And then it will spread because once Margot and Wesley doing it, then other people will want in on it. Woodfortill will want in, Calabishi will want in on it. And little things like that, Clint. So that instead of kids sitting on their iPad, or somebody tell me six smart
smart
boards.
boards.
Yes, Jojo. Excuse me, that is Joe and Prince, the person that does all the fundraising for the smart boards, right?
I know.
So if you all want to know how it's done, the other thing they do, they provide support to their teachers in the elementary school. So if you have trained, qualified teachers from Wesley living in the diaspora, Clint, organize some workshops for the teachers where they can learn classroom management, curriculum development, and how to manage the classroom with what they have. You understand? Instruction and all of that. So that is, they can never, nobody can never cut that out. You understand? You get online, you get in your Zoom, you get it. The government can never prevent that from happening.
And that shows self-sufficiency.
Yes.
It shows self because nobody can take from self.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And you
For the
encourage
first
the
time,
little children.
for Richie,
Uh-huh.
for the first time in my life, somebody challenged me.
Let me give all you a joke about Clint. So, Clint was one of the most handsome boys in St. Andrews, you know. Clint
Uh-huh.
had swag, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Clint was a heavy player, you know. He was cute. But I like his vibes. I like that he is working hard for his people. I am not opposed to him at all. Like I said, I was crying when I saw his Clint arrest and everything. I think our people on the flip side now, let's give the hard part now. The people in Dominica are under a lot of duress. The government can and should do better for the citizens. We are only 60-something thousand people. We have people in St. Vincent and other places doing better than us. When you look at our GDP, when you look at how much output we're having, how much we're getting in from CBI, every single citizen should even be getting a check in their hand at the end of every year. And every citizen should be in a position of success. And if I was scared, I would do a damn good job. That would be my challenge to scare it. If you want to stay in power, make our lives better. That's it. Give us proper roads, give us proper police surveillance, you know, help fund the agricultural sector, start training the people for small tourism businesses with Airbnb and all those other platforms, you know. So that would be my challenge to him. And you articulate yourself in that manner so that, and that is why I took myself out from the politics, because then when I talk, you cannot, I give both sides blows.
True that.
And that's what we do on Cardos Media. We give both sides the blues.
Yes.
We don't hold no punches for neither side. Because I find both of our leaders are lacking and they need to do better.
I think if you were to tell me what I would like to see, I would definitely take out both of them there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Sentiments.
I would say both of them need to go. But then the question that most Dominican, when you put that to a Dominican, because I have done that, they say yes, but who do we put in?
Yeah.
So Clint, that is where I said to you, you can do better than that, because you should be educating yourself in a manner to take those challenges and come to your community and stand up and move your community in that direction.
Amen.
That makes sense.
Amen.
Wow.
So you can't don't let me hear you on no platform doing no not you are a Wesley man first and foremost.
Talking rubbish, eh? He know.
Oh, all you never think Clint have a match.
Very much, Richie. That's very much right there.
Yeah, but the program is nice, man. The program is nice. I think Margot men have something similar, if I'm not mistaken. You know, there's a group of Margot men that just been doing stuff. Nobody knows about them. They just do stuff in their village.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
heard about them. Tony talked about them a couple times on this live before.
Yes. Yeah. They just do stuff. And stuff
So
that
yeah, let me ask you a question, Halima.
Mhm.
What do you think about Tony?
Why would you ask me that question in a public forum? I
Don't
think,
answer him.
okay,
No,
let
no,
me
no, no, no. Wait,
answer.
wait, wait, wait,
I
wait,
can
wait, wait,
answer.
wait,
I can answer.
wait, wait,
I
wait, wait.
absolutely love Tony. He's actually one of my favorite people in Marigot. I do believe that going forward with our position now in Dominica, we need to be much more serious. Okay? And you see, if I were Tony when I went in, I would have enrolled myself at UE and I would have taken a path to build me up so that I could now be ready for some of the challenges. I would have enrolled in some public speaking and some other things that would help boost my profile. That is if I were to give him genuine advice. And on like small business management, like you could, even if you didn't go to UE to get a degree, you could have done it on like Coursera has courses, even with Ivy League. Like you could get people to even fund you. Like Harvard has online classes for like $2,000 that you could take in leadership. So now you building up your credentials, you're
Your
building up your
portfolio, yeah.
profile, and then you start to articulate yourself differently, which is why I challenge Clint, because I know he's capable of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you see, I can go in between I can go on the road and I can talk pure cocoy, or I can sit and talk to you in between like that. And I can still go in the House of Parliament and put it down if I had to.
Oh yeah.
I admire that skill. You know, that's an amazing skill right there.
So he's an amazing person that could do more if he received some training.
Okay.
All right.
That's good.
You only want
All
me to
right.
talk about what I think about Grant.
Hey, what do you think about Grant?
Go ahead. Yes, good. Yes, your opinion. See that you're already there.
I met with Grant. He's my pal rep because my house is in Woodford Hill. I like to be honest, I think the man under a certain order and administration that they follow a certain direction that's given to them. But when you meet them one on one and you talk to them, most of them are approachable. Like I went to him, I told him what it was that I was meeting him for, and he was very agreeable to it. As to whether it's going to be executed, I don't know. But like the whole road to my house, because my land is right below the airport. I have two pieces of land, and both of them are close to the airport, right? So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
area, I do see that area developing as a way for people to have more farms that are farm to table, more bed and breakfast ventures, right? And I'm not the kind of person that I want it just for myself. I am personally looking to see people do the same thing that I'm doing on my property. I would love to see more people come home more people from the diaspora that just out there talking nonsense and saying that Dominicans should do XYZ when they're not on the ground, when they don't know the grind of the people, when they don't know why the people are making decisions. So when I went to him, he was amicable. He's also very intelligent and he is well educated. And I think that's why he outran Basil. Because Margaret and Wesley people, they do not vote for stupid. So can he represent Wesley? Yes. Would he do better as an independent candidate? Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I think in the future, what they need to do is, somebody said, Joan, I think we as a people can do better with or without degrees. Folks love power and they forget the real essence of representing people. No management skills. It's all a sense of dependency and begging for everything. And that's true. That is very true. So, like I said, we had people coming down to Aid Bank to pick up their checks that didn't know how to read and write. But you would never know that because these men, they spoke with eloquence when they came to represent the village of Wesley or Marigot. Their English on that day was perfect. You understand? And
Yep.
they had a certain decorum. They had a way they presented themselves, which is the challenge to us today. How do we present ourselves in the community to do what's necessary? And even if you don't have a degree, how do you articulate yourself to the people? Are you willing to sit and listen to the people? You see, me, if I was in parliament, I would want a group of people that just there to check me. I
To
put
critique
four.
you.
Yes, I just want 5 or 6 people, and all they have to do for me, every move I make, they have a meeting, if it's every week or every month, and they analyze me and they come and they hold a meeting with me either monthly or semi-weekly or whatever, and they tell me, look, you made XYZ moves. We don't like that. They call them advisors, but usually advisors tend to side with the government. These people, I would probably even have some people from both sides.
Both sides.
Just to critique me and to say, this is what you should be doing. And I would listen more to my opponents than to my supporters.
To the people that like you, it doesn't make sense to listen to them because they like you already.
Yes.
You have to take advice from the people that don't like your style, that don't like your movement.
Yes.
So then you get the correct
You're right.
move forward.
Yes. And that is that is the maturity that we lack in government in Dominica. Because even from the Prime Minister, you see that when he's critiqued, he gets very defensive. So good governance comes when you can say, okay, I don't like what you're doing. Then he should pick up the phone or he should come to the village and say, okay, what is it that you do not like? I need to hear from you. And also to follow up on it and follow it to the end. You know? So like my road that runs through, the feeder road that runs from one part all the way to the bottom to connect with this new international airport road, that area needs to start being developed for not just me, but there's about 6 to 10 farmers with holdings in that area with acreages about 9 to 10 acres each, right?
Okay.
So that road needs to be developed. It's also the road that goes down to the Woodford Lake, right? So it should be developed and beautified, waiting for expansion.
For when the airport does come in here.
Yes. So if you develop it now, you fix it now, you start putting the electricity and everything now. I had to cut that whole road. I cut 2 roads in Woodford Hill. After Maria, I cleared the whole road going into the valley back to my land. And recently when I went down, I cut all the branches that were leaning and about to fall onto my road. I had to go to every single owner of property to ask them. And all of them agreed. They all agreed because they needed it, because the water was coming down on their road to their land and they couldn't get to their property.
Yeah, that's true. I know the area.
So it also takes teamwork, you know.
Yes.
It takes teamwork. Yes, and that's why we said again, we need to develop our communities and not wait for our government to come in and do it. We ourselves as a people need to take pride in ourselves and start developing.
So
what
here's
we
how
have.
Grant could help us. Grant could grade down the road, get one of them Chinese thing, grade down the road in one day. If they don't have all the money now, say they don't have the money, but throw like 5 thing of tariff all the
Tarish
way
on top of
down
the road.
course, drain it, put some drains for us, and let us start with that. Let us start with that. Once the road open up, people will say, well, it have road now. I can go and build my house on my farm. Because the villages need to branch away from this center area.
Centralized thing.
Yes, yes.
Hey,
Yeah, I like
my
that.
people, we've been on here for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
I think we had to take a break tonight.
Yes.
Miss Thomas, I appreciate you coming on. I don't want you to leave though. We gonna cut off the line, but don't leave yet.
Okay.
To the people who followed and listened to our discussion tonight, I appreciate your guys' comments and candor. I hope you guys take it into consideration that we are fighting a battle against ourselves, and we need to wake up from our slumber and challenge our leaders, hold them accountable, because we as the people have the power to put them there and to take them out. We as the people have the power to demand better from our leaders. I want us to start demanding better, start holding them accountable, and putting them, I'm checking them, I'm making sure that they come through with what they say they're going to do. Because a lot of them make promises and they never keep them. A lot of them say things that they never do. Let us start holding them accountable. Mr. Thomas, you have anything to say before we cut off?
No, I just want to ask our government to please help develop the area of Wesley, Woodford Hill, even though he don't do in Marigot, but Wesley people voted for you. So, like, at least pay attention to some of the needs of the Wesley people. I mean, the roads inside of Wesley is good. I was impressed with the road network. But in terms of helping people to develop certain programs and skills for the young people, and to get the young people more interested in different areas of business, either is AI or gardening or whatever they want to do, to help them with that and to prepare the people for this new international airport that's coming.
Definitely.
Clint?
But tonight was a great night. You know, at least I had the opportunity to vibe with my schoolmate. You know,
I'm a
I enjoyed it.
bowman, you know. I'm a bowman with me day.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. But the conversation was great. I mean, it's nice to know we can come together and have that kind of conversation. I believe Halima set the challenge, so we had to pick up on it. I'll spend some time on it. I guarantee you that I'll spend some time on it. You know, going forward. Yeah, and to all the viewers who paid part of the conversation, listened, view, whatever you did, you know, it's nice having you on board all the time, you know. So we see where we go from here.
Fido?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Mr. Thomas, you know, I just want to say thank you for your tremendous input. It was very valuable and precious. And, you know, I think tonight was a very good night. Thank you, everybody, for those who commented, those who gave value to the live stream. You know, tonight turned out to be something what we didn't plan for this. So, you know, I'm just so grateful for that. And I think, yes, I think as he accepted the challenge, I want to even give him my support any way I can. So if anybody in the comment section is watching the live and you want to give, you know, some help and support to Mr. Roll, do not hesitate to do so, because if he succeeds, then Wesley succeeds, and if Wesley succeeds, then we win. So I just want to leave that with you guys. That's it from me. Caro, you have the floor.
Yeah, man. And Lavi Entertainment, thank you for accepting the challenge by Miss Thomas. So we have a challenge. Wesley people, we have to unite, come together as a community, put politics to the side, and let's develop our community. Let's go back to the old days where we were one community, we spoke with one voice. We had leaders in our community. We had people of substance in our community. We still have people of substance in our community, but we have put them to the side. Let us pick them back up again. Let us show them that we need their input, we need their value in our lives. Have a great evening, productive evening, and productive remainder of the week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Cardo's Media, we out.
Well, this is Cardo's Media, and yeah, don't blame the messenger. Yeah.